Hello everyone and welcome back to City Skylines 2 with me, Matt. That is right, it's been a couple of weeks due to computer issues, which hopefully should be all fixed now, and of course, City Skylines 2 issues. Gotta love that. Shout out, huge shout out to all y'all. Appreciate you helping me through some of those issues and getting me back up and running. Always appreciate your guys' help, but today, what we got going for you is we're going to continue on in this area right here. That is right, our high density area that was high density, that we took it out of high density, and now it is no longer high density. That is right. So go ahead and sit back, relax, grab a cup of water, and enjoy this episode. And then now let's dive into. Zoom. There we go. So a little bit behind the curtain. I actually did record a video before all my computer stuff happened. However, my computer crashed and corrupted my video. And actually, I had this area that I'm looking at right now, actually, I had already built. But yeah, that got corrupted. So I get to do it again because yay me. But you know what? I'm okay with that because I did kind of do some things that I did not really want or care about. And so part of this is I'm going to be fixing a couple things because, well, yeah, just because. Anyways, so part of that correction is this. We're going to bulldoze this stuff a little bit here because I kind of want to redo this just a bit. Nothing too crazy here. If I remember correctly, this is a wonderful 2x2, 4-lane 2x2. Oops, little jittery there. And we do want to put this on because part of me is going, can we do something like this, a little 180? A little something like, try to get a good thing here. Maybe like that? Something like that wouldn't be bad. Because then what we can do here, we can go from here, 180 out to there, on into there. Bada boom, bada bing. So it kind of has a slight curve to it, but it's not 100% straight. And I'm kind of okay with that because we don't need it 100% straight whatsoever. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to do a... do I do a 6-lane road here? I might just do a 6-lane road here. There we go. Something like that. Because what I'm thinking here is actually getting some high density into this area. And so I'm going to need some roads to make sure we're in and out and so on and so forth to kind of help out with that situation for sure. Because also what we can do a 6-lane. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Get people in and out quicker, I think will be nice. So I think that would be good. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. Yeah, buddy. Because for the most part, it doesn't matter if we only have 2 lanes going in. So I'm okay with that. That should be good right there. Perfect. Okay. So now after this, I am going to put a 6-lane road that's not an upgraded one across here. Because again, I want those 3 lanes in there. Because again, this is going to be some high density stuff. And I'm going to try and make it as high density as I can within this little square. And maybe a little less over here, I think. So let's go ahead and get some 2x2s here. There we go. Something like that wouldn't be bad. And then now let's get rid of that, that, and that. There we go. There we go. Something like that wouldn't be bad down here whatsoever. So I think this is going to be a great high density area. So I think that would be good. And then we could also get other things off of this, which I think would also be very nice as well to help things out too. In the sense of like, it doesn't have to be as tall, but we can probably get in some good buildings. So you know what we're gonna do? I'm not gonna do anything in the sense of like, I'm just gonna start putting things in and kind of seeing where it grows. Just so we can start getting some buildings in, getting some people in, so on and so forth. Yeah, we'll let that do its thing as it does its thing. I think actually what I want to do I also want to pull this 2x2 all the way through? I think I do. I think I do want to pull this 2x2 all the way through, 90-90, perfect, thank you. And pull this bad boy all the way through as well. Thank you. So we can actually have some more ways in and out. Again, kind of maybe taper down a little bit. Wouldn't be bad either. So I think that would be good as well. One thing we do need to do is we do need to build schools. I'm like, I can't even think right now. What do we need to build? We need to build schools. Okay, that does not look... Oh well. Oh well, whatever. Do we build it off of here or off of here? I think we build it maybe... Ooh. Let's try and maybe build it off of here. Maybe a little 2-laner right here. Let's see what we can do with this. Yeah, we're going to turn this off right here. Something like that. Let's get some snapping in there. Something like that wouldn't be bad. I don't want to go all the way through, but maybe something like that wouldn't be bad. And what we can do though is we can put a path over it. I think that would look great as well. There we go, something kind of like that. Again, is it the best? No, it's not the best, but it'll get us from point A to point B. And then the one thing I do need to do is get one maybe from here all the way across to there. I think that'll look good right there. I don't need anything like that. And then from there to over there. There we go. So something like that. Does it look funky? Absolutely it does. Are we going to take off our crosswalks? Absolutely. So we have that going on. We have that going on. I don't mind that going across. I don't mind that one for the most part. But anyways, so now we have a crosswalk across. And we have some buildings going in, which are looking pretty dang good so far. So things are looking up. That is for sure. Again, does this look weird and ugly? Absolutely. Is it straight? Nope. Perfect. But now we need to do education. 2-laner off of this. Maybe come straight off there and see what we can do with that. And then get to my elementary school again here. I think that'd be good. Let's get our operating district proper for our high density area. There we go. We'll get our 1 student in there. Perfect. And since this is going to be a high density, I think we actually might want to put in maybe a second one. Maybe across the street. Yeah, I think that's going to work out just fine. There we go. Because also what we're going to need is, again, we're going to need our high school here. High school. All right. let's get our road here. Kind of bring that down here. Like so. And let's get our high school in there. Actually, you know what I might be able to do here? Can we do a little, nope, a little cul-de-sac? Nope, a little roundabout maybe? No, all right. So I think we're just going to delete that part right there. So yeah, so now we have some schools going on here. So I think that's going to help out tremendously. When it comes to, especially over here, again, when we have our high rises, because they are starting to come in. Oh, yes, they are. They are starting to come in for sure. So we got that. We got that. We do need some parking. And we have plenty of spaces for that. A medium park. Small park. Perfect. Do a medium one right there. That will work. For sure, for sure. And then what I'm thinking down here, I think this is where I might be able to put a small roundabout. Something like that. And a small roundabout with a tree. Something like that. So that people have a way in and out of everything. So I think that will look good there. Okay, so we got that. We got that. Okay. That's looking good. We do need our trees. That is for sure. All right, so after a little bit of work, this is kind of what we got going on here. It's looking kind of nice as we go through here. If we need a little roundabout, we got one there with some trees. We got an elementary school on our left and on our right, which is actually looking quite nice. Then we have some jacaranda trees on the right-hand side. Of course, those will bloom, I think, in autumn or spring, if I remember correctly. We have a parking lot down here with a little playground in the back for the little kiddos, if need be. And then we have our high school down here as well to kind of help out our situation too. One thing that I forgot to do, so let's get out of here, is I need to put in a pavement path with trees. There we go. Just a pavement path like that would be just fine, so that people can walk just straight into there if need be. All right, so now that we've done that, again, we got our little schools going. We got our high rises going. I think they're all in for the most part. There's a few that are, you know, taking their sweet time. But for the most part, they're all in, which is very nice. And at least for a couple of these, this might be a wonderful opportunity for a, for an alleyway. So this might be a perfect opportunity for this. Let's turn off snapping real quickly because I don't want to snap. I don't need to snap. Again, I don't want to take out any buildings here if I can whatsoever. I know one can kind of go across from there to there. There we go. And right to there. And what I'm going to do is I am going to, where's my stuff? I'm going to turn off these crossings. I don't mind about that. I'm going to take off that light because I don't really want it there. I don't need it there because there's already one right there, one right there. And same thing down here. I don't want a light there. Again, oopsies. I do want one there. This could come back and bite me in the butt. Absolutely it could. But, you know, we'll see what it comes with here, you know? We'll see here. There we go. Get through there. So yes, we have a little ability for that, which I think is nice. We do have an ability to put in some trees for sure, which I think we are going to do here. So let me go ahead and put in some trees and all that. And of course, see what we got going on here. Okay, so I did that. Again, some areas is going to look a little bit easier than in others, i.e. like over here, it's going to be pretty easy to see trees compared to potentially in here. So not many in there. just because, you know, not much light, so on and so forth. So, you know, so that is what it is right there. Okay, so now that we have that in, we have our high density in, we now need to start putting in some other little thingies as well that we're going to need. And that is, if we get out of here, we are going to need to put in mail. Woo! Because our mail is absolutely, positively atrocious. Not really, but, you know, it is what it is. Especially because, you know, we don't really have any yet because we didn't need to have anything. So if we go down to our mail, communications, mail, we do have an EE post office and a modern post office. Mailbox capacity 500, post vans 20, 600, 10 by 7, 8 by 6. This may require something like this. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is, what is that? 3, 6, 7, right? About 7 off. We're going to draw a little line here. We can turn our snapping back on. Maybe about right here and bring this bad boy on down. Something like that to help out. And we are going to, first and foremost, we're going to put some parking. Medium parking, medium solar parking. Medium solar parking wouldn't be bad. Put that there. That's going to fill up quite quickly. But we are going to put in our EE post office right there. And of course, we're going to select our district of here, the high density. Because also what we can do, we can put a pathway. Pathway pavement with amenities. With trees. We'll just do it with trees. And let's go straight down there like so. There we go. Not parking. I want that because I want to take that away. There we go. Okay, don't know why that did that, but it did. Anyways, we have a path in there now. So that's good. Hello, helicopter. So we have that going in there, that going in there. Because what also we need is we do need some other amenities. Anyways, I can't say the word. But 3-lane asymmetrical, we're going to put that in there. There we go. Perfect. There we go. Because what I'm also thinking is putting some, some businesses down here as well to kind of help out this area just a bit. Yeah, that might be better. Something like that. It's going to look a little funky, but we can always kind of do some stuff. We're going to paint some stuff in here. Just like that. Perfect. Obviously, we'll do some filling in here later, of course. Or not some filling in, but some landscape in here in a little bit. So I think that's going to look good there. And then we're going to do the same thing kind of over here to some extent. Something like that. All right. So yeah, so I think that will look decent. And so while this is here, we're going to need to put in some trees while we're at it. Alrighty, so after a little bit of building, this is kind of what we got going on. We have our high density back in a different way. We have some shops and all of that with some parking over on one end. We have a school or 2 elementary schools and a high school on another end. So I think that's looking pretty dang decent to me. And then my next thing I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to start doing some, I don't know, maybe some more buildings. Because we have some good demand. We really do. And a lot of it is medium density housing, mixed housing, low rent housing, small style apartment buildings, low density housing. Maybe the small apartment ones may be good. So I might do that, to be honest. Especially like over here, I think wouldn't be bad looking whatsoever. And just put in a buttload of parking. And I'm talking like a buttload of parking. Where we at? So maybe something like this. This actually could be, ooh, I've got ideas here. That's 200. That's now 400, 600. So that could be decent over there. Okay, okay. That could be pretty dang decent if I do say so myself. And what I'm thinking, maybe, do we pull a street? Again, I don't want that to do that. All right. I'll clean everything up here later, to be honest. Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking, is something like this. 990. Here we go. Something like that wouldn't be bad. Let's go from there to there. Bring it down to maybe there. Across to here. And to there. And then I want to get things off of this road. For sure. And that road and that road for sure. Okay, that could actually work pretty dang decently if I do say so myself. So let's go ahead and put in some of this medium density housing in here. And let that bad boy grow as much as we can. And let that take down some of that stuff. Okay, okay. Yeah, we do need that to grow. And grow it shall. And grow it shall. Alrighty, so what we got going on is, on the far left, we have some kind of medium density housing in there. On the kind of top middle of the screen, we have some high density housing. And on the far right top, sure, we'll call it that, is some kind of commercial-esque type of housing. And in the bottom kind of foreground, we have our schools, 2 elementary schools and 1 high school, doing what it needs to do. Hopefully, I'm sure they're full, so it is what it is. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for me for today. I think we did some good work. Thank goodness that my game is working again. Again, shout out Qualiol for helping me out there. It was greatly appreciated. Again, thank you very much. And if you enjoyed this episode, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, as it greatly helps me out as I do these types of builds. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment, whether it's just saying, hey, Matt, glad you're back. Hey, Matt, don't forget about this, or something else, a mixture in between. Whatever it is, I read the comments. And of course, I have to go without saying, I hope you have a good rest of your day, a good rest of your week, and I hope you stay hydrated. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye now.